Welcome to Guided Spirit Conversations. I'm your host, Marla Goldberg. This podcast has been created with you in mind to acquaint you with some of the most incredible metaphysicians and spiritual leaders from around the globe who have helped others change their lives. In this interactive hour, you will be offered insights and techniques to help you make a difference in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite listening platform. And here we go, on to the show. Hello. How are you all doing today? Well, if it's Guided Spirit Conversations Day, it must be Thursday. So here we are. I'm so glad that you've tuned in because we have a very special panel today. You could say we're a bunch of earth angels talking together. And I have got two amazing angel intuitives with me today. The first being Laurie Parente, who is an intuitive angel medium and energetic healer. Laurie lives in Calgary, Canada, and works with quantum light, language, and touch, allowing the space for her clients to heal and live with their lives with authenticity. Working with multiple tools and techniques, Laurie works one-on-one with clients and also with her signature group program, There She Is. It is always her honor to work with individuals who are seeking to connect with their spiritual team, including angels, guides, mentors, and their loved ones who have transitioned to spirit. As a lifelong grief worker, Laurie delights in the knowing that we are all capable of connecting with our loved ones to continue our relationships in a more expansive way. We also have Reverend Dr. Kimberly Marooney, and lives change when Reverend Dr. Kimberly Marooney speaks. Hundreds of thousands of people worldwide have been touched by Kimberly's messages and teachings on love through her books, best-selling angel cards, courses, and media. Here's why. When angels want new energy to manifest on earth, Kimberly is their go-to angel, earth angel. The angels have guided Kimberly into an amazing life of creativity. Each work has laid the foundation for what followed. Looking back, she never could have thought this up. The founder of theangelministry.com and president of Gateway University, a school for the study of higher consciousness. Kimberly is here to show us the way to joyful living through angel healing connections. Welcome, ladies. I'm so happy to have you here today.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Marla.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So what I always love to do is start at the beginning. When you were a young one, were you aware of your connection to the angels? And I'm going to start with Reverend Dr. Kimberly.
I think it started for me when I was about 14. My dad was a Presbyterian minister, and every summer I was sent to summer camp, which was a highlight of my life. And the summer camps were pretty cool. And when I was 13, I had learned to scuba dive. So that summer I went to Catalina Island off the coast of California for a scuba diving summer camp. That was also, a Christian thing, because that's what we were doing. And one night they had all us little campers out around a campfire in the dark, and there were these beautiful stars in the sky. There was the firmament up there, and we were around this fire fervently praying to Lord Jesus. And I was praying, "Oh, Lord Jesus, I want to feel you." And I felt a touch on my shoulders. And, I had my eyes closed. And I opened my eyes and I kind of looked around me, and there was nobody anywhere near me. So I closed my eyes. I went back into my fervent prayer. It happened again. I felt a touch on my shoulder. The third time it happened, I thought, well, I finally got some, sense. Well, what am I praying? I'm asking Lord Jesus to touch me. What's happening? I'm feeling touched. And so I started to put those pieces together. And it took me a long time, many years, to realize that I was a mystic. But in that third touch, there was a peace that came into my heart. There was a love that came into my heart. And that was really my start of my mystical journey. And just a few years later, I had friends who introduced me to ascended masters in metaphysics and angels, and that was it. I was gone.
I was hooked. And Laurie, let's hear about your story.
Well, what a beautiful story. I think my story started and stopped and started and stopped along the way. I was a very sick child in the late 1960s. No one knew what celiac disease was. And I spent the first couple of years in the hospital. And so I had many, many, many experiences with angels. Um, and then I think kind of around the age 4 or 5 when I would speak openly about it, I started to get teased and people would not believe me. And so it kind of got shut down for a while. And then again, it opened up in my teens and it just kind of ebbed and flowed throughout my life. But there was always, always this presence that no matter what was going on, I felt safe, I felt protected. And then I think the big one came, I was about 19 and I was driving on the highway and I was going to meet my parents. And I was listening to my music and having a good time. And all of a sudden there was a bright flash of light and I heard hit the ditch. And I careened into the ditch and I was on a windy mountain road. And what would have happened if I hadn't had that experience is I would have ended up underneath a semi that was
Wow.
stopped. So when you have that kind of big feeling, that big thing happen, you tune in a different way, right? And then it just became a
Absolutely.
process the rest of my life.
Those are both great stories. And Laurie, your story just makes me have to ask this question, and we're all going to answer. But I was always taught that angels, for the most part, don't have free will except under dire circumstances, and yours sounded like a dire circumstance. What is the reality of how angels intervene in our lives? So, Laurie, I'm going to start with you to finish your thought, and we'll go to Kim.
I do believe that because we have free will, we have to ask them whenever we want to work with them. But there are situations where they can become manifest in physical form or they can save us, as you say, in dire situations. I had another situation where my kids were little. I was in the hospital. I had a kidney stone. I was there by myself. And a beautiful woman just came and sat beside me and started talking to me about my kids and how what I was going through. And then I realized afterwards, as we always do, we always realize it afterwards, wait a minute, this woman was glowing and she knew about my children, right? And it was one of those things where I was having this conversation with her, and then when I turned back, of course, she wasn't there. So they can come to us when we really, really need them.
I love that. Reverend Dr. Kimberly.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. My experience is that it's not so much our conscious invitation as it is our soul calling. So for me, the angels have intervened in my life many times when I didn't know that I needed to call on them. And so from my experience, it's that deep inner soul contract, that deep inner soul connection, that the invitation is present. So that when difficult situations are happening, especially if we have a soul contract that we need to be alive for,
Yeah.
that invitation is standing. And so they're able to come in and help us. That they don't do it frivolously, and they don't do it, and they're not, well, they're very generous, but the generosity is very, very specifically pointed to keep us alive and keep us moving toward our destiny, but
I have
without interfering with our lessons.
I like that, and it is I don't know. I always call to the angels in prayer. I call to the angels if I'm driving and I need something or in that place. But I do verbally say to whomever, I need your help. And most of the times I wasn't raised, and here's the difference too. I was raised in a Jewish community. So we weren't raised with a lot of the angels and the saints that the Christian religion brings to. So I'm a little bit deficit in knowing which angels to call for what. And I'm the first to admit, but I know that by my just reaching out and saying, whoever works in this capacity, I need help. I mean, I know the basics, but that they do come and they do intervene and they do forgive my unknowing of who to exactly to call. And I find that to be phenomenal. So So let's talk about what angels actually are and what their purpose is for us humans and for their experience, their growth as well. And we'll start with Kim.
I've been asking this question my whole life. And so I've gone through many different rounds of who are the angels? What are they? Why are they here? And what I've come to is that in the oneness of all that is, that's a much different perspective. In the oneness of all that is, there are different aspects of the divine. And I think my favorite perspective is the seraphim. The seraphim are the ones who are said to surround the throne of glory, and they chant. And what are they chanting but a love song? And that love song that they chant is broadcast through their song out into all of material creation. So that's not only our universe, but the multiverses and all of creation that we as humans can't even possibly imagine, because there's more to creation than what we know. So this song of love, of deep, passionate, reverent, divine, sweet, tender, generous love is broadcast out into all of the material creation, and that's what becomes the matter. So that's what we are. We are the descended, slowed elements of that song of love into material creation as we'll call ourselves children of light, children of the divine. And angels are different aspects of that representing that love. So angel means messenger. And that's literally what they are. They're messengers of this divine love come forth to bless us. And what are we? We are just aspects. We are unique expressions of some unique combination of blessings and talents and skills and desires in physical form here on earth, walking the earth, feeling this intense desire to bring forth the blessings of divine spirit. And the angels are our helpers. They help us with that. They're the intermediaries that help us to remember that we are truly a spark of the divine. We are the source. We are all one. We are not separate.
I love that, and it's so true. The phrase "we are many, we are one, we are many" come to mind, and that's what it said. The other thing that came to me when you were talking was back in the day when the sirens would call the men in the water and to help them come to shore. That's what popped into my vision when you were talking about that. Would you say that the seraphim were, or an aspect of them were, like bringing the fishermen back home?
Oh, I'm a water baby, so I love that story. And I believe that spirit manifests in so many different ways. Spirit manifests through the elementals. I think the mermaids, the sirens are an aspect of the water elementals. And of course, spirit wants to preserve life. Spirit wants to bless. Spirit is generous in all forms. And those sirens, it says some of them pulled the men down into the deep and never let them go. Well, what happened? Did they have an amazing love life with this beautiful siren down under the sea? What happened? And of course, of course, they want to save life. They want to preserve life. And by so doing, look at the imprint of love, of joy, of peace, of safety they gave to these sailors who they brought to shore.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Laurie.
Wow. I'm not sure I can add too much to that. That was just beautiful. Thank you. When
So
angels are
beautiful.
around, my eyes start to leak, so they're leaking. For me, angels are celestial beings. They're the heartbeat of God. They're the breath of God. They're the aspect that lets us know that all is well, that keeps us safe and teaches us to love ourselves and love each other and have compassion and kindness and forgiveness and just know that everyone's on their own journey and to just broadcast that love that they give us.
And I know there's so much love. There's so much love. How do the angels work with all the dissension that we as humans are dealing with all over the world? Not just here in the United States but all over the world, there's so much dissension. I know, Laurie, you're from Canada, so that statement is a little uh, blurred, but I still would like to have an idea of what your thoughts are about that, how they, why they're not intervening more to make things more peaceful for the earth, for the humans, and for the growth.
Uh, I believe they are. I believe they're here all the time. It's a matter of what we're listening to. If we're listening to the dissension and the polarization all the time, that's what we're going to feel more. If instead we're focusing on broadcasting that love, bringing in that angel love into our heart space and broadcasting it, it puts us on a different frequency. And we start to see more of the blessings and the love and the forgiveness and everything that's going on. Because we are in a chaotic time, but it's also, are you being a sponge or are you being a broadcaster?
I think that's phenomenal. I really like that statement. Thank you for that.
You're
Kim.
welcome.
Oh, I'm so with you on that, Laurie. We are so attuned. We're kindred spirits here. We're the choir singing to each other
Mhm.
in beautiful harmony. I see it that way too. And what I see is that we humans have a collective agreement that we change through contrast. And what we're seeing now is contrast. This conflict, it's nothing new. It's been here for a long time. But in this time of change, we're at the close of one age and the birth of a new age, the old ways are being revealed in startling light and reality in ways that they never were before. So what we're seeing is nothing new. People have held these beliefs all along, but we're seeing them front and center in the media and in aggressive ways because that's what it does. This kind of consciousness, it's aggressive.
Yes.
We're not seeing so much in the mainstream news the millions, billions of people who are praying behind the scenes. We're not seeing the people who are holding prayer vigils every day for peace, for joy, for love, for health, for wholeness. We don't see that in the mainstream media, but we know we are the silent workers. We are the light workers. We are the earth angels. And there are millions, billions of us behind the scenes, quietly, privately in our homes, setting out this network of light, of prayer, of power that beings can draw upon when they need it. We hear a lot of stories about soldiers in battle who see angels or who feel a divine intervention. We are the ones who are helping to create that network of divine energy that's present for them to access. It's the same in all aspects of life. We're the ones who are praying into that network. We're praying into that beautiful field, that collective field. We are filling the collective consciousness with love and joy and peace and health to help to balance and offset the other feelings of fear and anger and hatred. So it is happening in a very beautiful way in divine timing. And as divine timing goes, it's also in a way that all of us can feel the spiritual growth, the personal growth that we need to come to the next steps in our understanding of ourselves, of life, and of the larger picture of spirit.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much. So, going back to how people can contact their angels, um, and also can angels contact you? So, how do people reach out and talk to their angels to request, whether it's verbally or in their heart, in their prayers, or and also how the second part of the question is if you can explain how angels connect with us. So, Kim, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, thank you. So in the late 80s and the early 90s, when I really started my journey with the angels in earnest, they were contacting me. So they want us as much as we want them. And, so they're praying. I see them now, this group of angels huddled together praying, oh, Kimberly, we need to help Kimberly. Oh, Laurie, we need to help Laurie. Oh, Marla, let's lift Marla up. Oh, we love Marla so much. That's how I see it. But in the early days of my journey, I was praying, I was begging, oh, please, I feel so lost and alone. Please come to me. I'm dramatizing a bit, but really that is truly how I felt. And back in those days, there were a few card decks, angel card decks. But there was mostly tarot and runes, and there were just a few little card decks coming in. And so I had this amazing, powerful experience with the angels in a near-death experience where they asked me to create a bridge to spirit. And through that request, one by one, they started to come to me. So Archangel Raphael was the first, since I was almost dead. And he spent about a year with me, helping me to get to the point I'd forgotten how to read. I could hardly see. I couldn't hear very well. I was pretty close to the other side. And he helped to bring me back because it wasn't my time to go yet, which actually kind of irritated me quite a bit in the beginning. I was kind of mad about that for a couple of years. But anyway, Raphael helped me to heal, brought me back. And so my first real deep personal connection with angels was Archangel Raphael. And so in this bridge to spirit, I didn't know what it was in the beginning. I finally figured out that it was a card deck. And so one by one, over a period of 4 years, angels came to me, and they would spend anywhere between a week and a month with me, holding me in light, pulling me into their energy, lifting me up in the vibration, helping me to heal, helping my body to heal, helping me to get strong, helping my brain to renew so that I could remember how to read again, so that I could think, so that I could focus, so that I could write. My hand wouldn't write for a while. I had to get my handwriting again, get my computer skills going so that my fingers could type. It was a long journey coming back.
That sounds like a very long journey.
But every angel helped me. And in the end, there were 44 of them. It's the angel blessings cards. They're in 19 languages, 400,000 copies around the world. They've helped so many people. And so the best way to get to know the angels personally is through a divination set like angel blessings cards. And there are many of them. So I encourage you to find the one that most resonates with your heart. And, I'm the divination queen. I used to have many, but because I created two, I created angel blessings cards and angel love cards because the angels birthed them through me. They're my two go-to favorites, but I know there are many others that are very sweet. So I encourage you to use an angel card deck to help you connect and tune in with angels.
Thank you for that. Laurie.
Well, that's just amazing. What a story. I kind of look at connecting with angels in two ways. One way is to just, Marla, what you were saying, is to just have like this trust that the right angel will connect with you, to just be, say, angels, I'm late, and please help me to get there on time. I think that sometimes we can go down the rabbit hole of which angel do I need to call, and I think we can just do the collective thank you angels. I learned from Kyle Gray to put everything in the perspective of gratitude. So to find a way to quiet your logical brain, whether that's through meditation or tapping or whatever works for you, and to just get centered and say, thank you, angels, for reminding me of your presence. And thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know in this moment. And I find I look for quick solutions. So I find that's a way to really get centered. And I love to use that in the middle of the night the most when I'm awake. As women of a certain age, sometimes we're awake quite a bit at night. Thank you for revealing to me what I need to know in this moment. Thank you for wrapping me back up in your celestial blanket and allowing me to go back to sleep. And thank you for bringing me dreams of beauty and life and love.
I love that. Now, both of you ladies have some things that we're going to talk about now for the public. And so, let's see, we've got a couple of things coming up for Dr. Kim. Is it okay if I refer to you as Dr. Kim?
Yeah, sure. I like Kimberly better, but that
Kimberly?
works.
Okay,
I know who I am.
for the audience. But You have a summit from September 9th to October 8th coming up and a 31-day Mystics Lifestyle Challenge. Let's tell everybody about those.
So in true angel fashion, the angels came to me about 2 weeks ago and said, Summit. I love how they do that. And so this time I didn't fight or argue with them or delay. I just said, okay, bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready. I can do this. And so when I was creating the angel ministry, in the very first year, the very first students, one of them, Jody Cross, contacted me and she said, I'm receiving a baptism. Why is that? And aren't you supposed to get this stuff? And I said, oh, good question. So I went into deep prayer with the angels that were guiding us, the seraphim that were guiding us. And I asked, what's happening with Jody? What's she receiving? And the answer that came back was that all of the angel ministers would be contributing to our sacred book of light that became our minister how-to manual for when you get out in life and you don't know what to do. So it's prayers and ceremonies and blessings and sacred divine experiences, all kinds of wonderful stuff. So we had that. Then the next summer, the Mother Mary came to me and she said, I want you to make a rosary. And I'm saying, well, I'm not Catholic. Anyway, long story short, I fought that for about 3 months because, I'm like that, put them up. I'm praying for you to guide me, but then when you do, it's like, I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. I don't know. That's what it was. So finally, after about 3 months of fighting it, I said, all right. And I found myself stomping around in my meditation room and I'm screaming, all right. What? Because I really didn't know what to do. And I was truly, I was afraid because I didn't know what to do. So finally, after I kind of expended that anger energy or that frustration energy, I sat down on my meditation pillow and I quieted myself for a few minutes and started gathering all this stuff together. I got out our sacred book of light. I was guided to get tape and scissors, and I'm thinking, okay. So I'm flipping the book's opening to these pages, and I'm going to my copy machine. I'm copying them, and I'm getting the scissors, and I'm cutting, and I'm taping things together, and I don't know what I'm doing. It's just kind of happening really fast. And then I took a break, and I stepped back, and I saw before my eyes the rosary, that we'd already written it in different ways. It was already in our sacred book of light. Mother Mary had already given it to us, but in a different format. And so in that, one of the things she says is pray, using whatever words like Laurie was saying. I love Laurie's way to just simply call in the celestial beings, call in the angels. Pray every day, whatever words come to your heart, but pray every day, 1 full month, 31 days to be exact, and listen carefully as our plan unfolds. So every year for the last 10 or 12 years, we've been doing this 31-day cycle of reading the rosary together. That's that 31-day cycle part, embracing a mystic's lifestyle, because what happens? We're coming together in devotional prayer. We're saying this beautiful rosary. And then at the end, we take 5 minutes to listen carefully as the plan unfolds. And if you have your journal and you listen carefully every day, amazing things happen in that time. So the other part of it is that this year the angels want us to interview other earth angels to share healing. So it's the angelhealersummit.com. And it's an opportunity to come. If you're a healer, come and be healed with us as you also share your healing into the group. And if you need healing, come and receive that perspective of daily healing through the rosary, but also so many different healing modalities. So I was looking at both of you, Marla and Laurie, and you both have studied so many different healing modalities. That's true of us earth angels. We bring so much into possibility. So that's what this Angel Healer Summit is all about, is opening to receive the healing that you need and shining your light into that. We'll have some interactive ways for you to do that. So I can't wait for this experience to happen. I love it when the angels catalyze this kind of energy and love and healing blessings for us humans.
Oh, that sounds like an amazing event. And I'm going to come back to this mystic lifestyle because I wanted you to share that with the audience. But Laurie, you also have a quantum light language activation for opening to personal mediumship. Can you talk more about that? It sounds exciting.
Yes, I love working with people just for opening up to the connecting with their spiritual team. And what the angels were showing me is that people really lack a worthiness. Like, who am I to connect to my spiritual team? Who am I to connect to my loved ones, to my angels, to my guides? Um, and so that's about 5 years ago, I started speaking light language, and most of my light language is angelic in form. And so what they showed me is that I could use an activation to help people get beyond that feeling of not being worthy. So I have a light language activation, and then following that, I have a meditation for meeting with a loved one in a sacred garden. And so just opening people up to knowing that they can still have that relationship with their loved ones. And not only can they still have it, it can grow and change. And I find from there, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump to start connecting with angels and guides and mentors and everyone that on our spiritual teams.
And that's at Laurie Parente. I'm saying that correctly, .com.
Yes. Yeah.
Parente.
Right.
Those are just amazing. I am going to invite each and every one of you to please go to both laurieparente.com and I'm going to find your.
The easiest way is kimberlymarooney.com. I'll have something posted up there really quick.
Thank you. And it'll be on the blog, so you can always go back to my website, Marla Goldberg. Goldberg has 2Rs.com to find all the information on how to get in touch with Kimberly and Laurie. So, as I mentioned, you talked about a mystic lifestyle, Kimberly. What is, for people who don't understand what it is, what is a Kimberly? What is a mystic's lifestyle?
So most of us, probably anyone who's listening here, is empathic, which means that we're feelers. We feel other people's moods. Sometimes we sense their thoughts. We also feel spirit, whether we know it or not, whether we recognize it or not. We feel spirit. We feel angels. We feel where most of us who are empaths are also natural mediums. And so Laurie's training to help recognize your natural mediumship is really beautiful. That started happening for me naturally as my inner senses were awakening, as I would notice when I was doing a counseling session with somebody and they were talking about mom, I could see mom. It's like, she was back in the wings, and we would have a conversation about, do you want to invite mom in for some healing? And then if that was the right thing to do, we'd invite mom in, and she'd come in and she'd be there with us in the session, and we'd do this beautiful healing. And so we're natural mystics. Mysticism, a mystic is someone who not only prays to the divine, but notices the answer. We feel the response. We feel maybe after we've prayed, we feel more calm. We feel more peaceful. That is that is a mystical experience of the divine. It can be very simple and very basic. Sometimes we'll feel more joyful, or we'll feel elated, or sometimes we'll receive. Sometimes we'll receive energies or messages. So mysticism is just about taking the time out of your everyday life for communion with spirit, communion with love, communion with the angels or with the divine. And that's the rosary part. So we'll be taking about a half an hour every day, once a day, and all different times, because we've got people all around the world who will be reading with us in different languages. It's really fun. I can't wait for that part. So we'll be taking out a half an hour every day for this mystical connection through love and prayer as we listen as the divine plan unfolds for us. And then we'll also be connecting. We'll be doing some work. So we'll be with our guest speakers, we'll be exploring different aspects of getting to know very specific angels, going through very specific exercises or meditations or transformations so that something is happening. Beyond talk, we'll be having experiences, about 50-minute experiences every day of something powerful moving in our lives, healing, awakening, activating. And so that's the mystical lifestyle. We pray, meditate, and connect, and then we go to work. We go into action. We direct energy where it's needed. We receive healing. We receive communication. We receive everything we need to go to action in the world. So that's a mystic lifestyle. We open, connect, receive, love, and give.
It just sounds like the idyllic lifestyle, so free and peaceful. But here's a question. Is every angel trustworthy? Can you trust every angel that comes to you?
I
And
only
I'm
meet the
gonna
good ones. I don't know about any others.
say, okay, Laurie?
Uh, I mean, I believe angels are incorruptible. I haven't ever had an experience where I can't trust them. I guess it would depend on the intention you go in with. If there was ever a time that you intended to go in and meet with a so-called dark angel, perhaps that's possible. I personally haven't ever come across anything like that.
So Lucifer, I mean, he's the most well-known, I think, of all the dark angels, right? He's the devil in a human form, like the way humans talk about it. Is there such a thing as Lucifer? Is there truly an energy like that?
Well, here on Earth, we have duality. And this is just how it's set up. We have hate and love. We have joy and sorrow. We have celebration and grief. We have this wide range of experiences. And so, the Bible talks about the fall from grace and Lucifer. And it's my experience that is just our personal pain acting out. I've personally, fortunately, thankfully, I've never experienced any kinds of those, dark beings. I have gone through some pretty dark times in my life. I've been in the company of some people who are I'm going to describe them as being in very deep pain and rage. And, I've had some pretty hard experiences in my life. As I look deeper, though, I don't see them as evil. I don't see them as guided by Lucifer, although some people feel that that's their path. I just don't see that. That's not what's in my world. But it's all coming out of fear and pain and anguish. It's the deep anguish of separation from the divine and feeling unworthy. We had that conversation about unworthiness earlier
Yes.
that Laurie so beautifully brought up. And when we truly believe that we're separate, that we're cut off, it can manifest in pretty deep and painful, sorrowful, angry, hurtful ways where you want to act out and hurt other people. That's what we're seeing a lot of in the world. We're seeing angry people who are really just cut off from feeling the love, and they're acting out in the world as a result of that. So when we see that, when we see satanic cults, or when we see war, or when we see shooters, if we can get over our feeling about it and not directly personally, but request that divine love comfort that person, then we're being a light worker. We're being an earth angel. We're seeing beyond our own pain, and we're directing light to where it's most needed.
Thank you. That's a great answer. And Laurie, what is your perspective?
Likely very similar. We are on the same wavelength for sure. I think, again, like I said before, are you being a sponge or a broadcaster? I think it's about bringing in that love and broadcasting it no matter what you see, no matter what's going on. You can realize that people are acting from a place of pain and fear, and sending that love and being a conduit for that love is what we can do. I often see all of us light workers when I'm in meditation, just standing hand in hand around the globe, and just millions of us holding hands in all these concentric circles, just sending love and light to the world. I believe we've been called here to be these light workers, to awaken people to the fact that they're just so much more than they think they are.
Thank you for that. So my next question will be, are we assigned certain angels? And if so, how are we assigned the angels? And are we assigned based on what our needs are? And Laurie, I'm going to start with you.
I believe that we all have guardian angels, an angel or angels that are with us, not only in this lifetime but in many lifetimes. I know that my guy Tobin is always here with me. I have memories of before I came into this lifetime being with him and him giving me the purple cloak of transmutation and talking to me about what my life would be like. And I actually have a painting of him. I went to an intuitive artist who's able to see angels, and this painting is right by my bed. So Tobin and I have conversations right before I go to sleep, right when I wake up. I also know that there are other angels with me all the time. And I don't know if they are particularly assigned to each one of us, but I do believe we have an angelic team, and different angels come and go as we need them.
Thank you for that. Kimberly.
I got this most interesting gift, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago when I was traveling the world and working with thousands and thousands of people. As I'd look at them with my inner sight, I started to see that everybody has a team. You know, when I turn it on, I like to turn it off to be polite. And then if I'm in a session or in a place where it's appropriate, I turn it on. And I started to see that everybody has a team. And I could see that the smallest team was maybe a dozen angels for people who have a very quiet private life. But for those who have a more public life, I saw a team of let's see, what was the biggest team I ever saw? 2,473 angels for somebody who had a very big private, personal, very big public life. And those angels, some of them are assigned to us before we're born. They're assigned to us for our entire life. And others come and go on a project basis. And there are managers. There's like this whole management system going on in there, which is kind of fun when I started to tune into that. And so we all have angels. We all have our guardian angels on the team. Often the guardian angel is like the gatekeeper for the intervening in life or infusing into life. It's the guardian angel who's the most connected with our earthly being, and who's the one who can kind of dispense the goodness that's coming to us in the way that's most appropriate, so that it's not too disruptive, and so that it's just right. You know, not too much, not too little, just right. The Goldilocks thing. You know, that's our
Yeah.
guardian. So that's how I see it. And I see my own team fluctuates quite dramatically in size. And let me take a look. Oh, yes. So Angel Summit boosted it up quite a bit because they've got, they're doing the work. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
yes, I'm taking instruction. That's my job. I take instruction and I do the earth manifestation part, but they're way behind the scenes. And it's true for all of us. We're all go-to earth angels. So that when we can open to this experience of co-creativity, it's fun.
It is fun, and it really it's uplifting. Like you feel the best way I could say it. There's just this light giddiness in your heart. That's what I personally feel when I know that we're talking, we're communicating, and it's like I just feel light and airy in my. I don't. It's like my heart is being tickled. I don't know how else to explain it. Something like along those lines. So, is there any special way for people that you would tell people to connect with their angels? Is it getting to know them through the cards and just calling out the ones one by one to see who comes? Or is there a specific maybe prayer you can share with the audience? I'm going to start with Laurie.
I think we can just call on our angels collectively. As I said, thank you, angels, for reminding me of your presence. Thank you for reminding me of what I need to know. And then as we get farther on down the road, we start to commune with specific angels. I know for myself, Archangel Gabriel is with me all the time. And I have quite a few channeled messages on my website that deal with all kinds of different emotions and everything. And we just start to kind of differentiate how they feel. So a card deck is a really good way to figure that out. Like when Archangel Chamuel comes through, it's just this high heart love, and it's so expansive, and it's just, you can't help but love yourself and just think you're the most beautiful thing in the world because of this presence that's with you. And when, something like Archangel Orion, I love to work with Orion to manifest our dreams. It's a different energy. So it's just spending the time. I always say you need to have a daily spiritual practice where you're connecting with your spiritual team, where you're explore, find all the different methods you can and find what works for you, and build your spiritual toolbox so that you have many different ways to connect. Because sometimes we'll connect and then we'll go to connect the next day and it doesn't quite work. So use a different method. And it is fun. And it's like this game we get to play. So as long as you're open and you're curious and you want to expand and grow, it will all start to come to you. And the way that you connect will be the way that only you connect. It's individual for us all.
Like your own fingerprint.
Right.
Kimberly.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Laurie. I feel that in my heart. That's really lovely.
Yeah.
To build upon that, everything Laurie said, I love questions. So not just your average ordinary questions, although sometimes those are great too, but I love the golden $1,000,000 questions that have the power to change our lives. Sometimes they're scary questions. Sometimes they're fun and playful and joyful. Sometimes they're about healing or about relationships or about conflict. Whatever they are, every question is absolutely perfect. And it might be, help me know what to eat so that my body can be nourished and not in pain. I've been with you on the celiac kind of journey, and that's really familiar territory to me. So it could be as simple as what can body assimilate right now, and then open your inner senses to be guided to some food, and then just eat that. That's a simple way to have to ask a question and receive an answer, to allow your intuitive abilities or your attention or your focus to guide you. Or maybe it's something that's a little bit more complex. Maybe you're needing to make a decision, this or that. Again, you can use the angels to feel, well, what's the energy in this one? What's the energy in that one? This is where I love to use angel cards, because the angel cards can help us understand what the lesson is in each one. So maybe in one, in my angel blessings deck, you get the card for mercy. And it's highly likely if you go in that mercy direction, you're going to have some big challenges, but you're also going to have some big growth and big development there. And if the other one is something like joy, that will also potentially bring some challenges, but you'll be learning more through joy rather than through discovering the mercy quality. And so you can use angel cards or angels or feeling in a way like that to help you learn to go forward. This is where journaling comes in, where you can also ask a question and then be open to feel or receive a response. Sometimes it might come in words that write through your hand in automatic writing. Sometimes it might become in a knowing. Sometimes it's just a deep state of peace that fills you. So that is incredible. When you get those feelings of peace, of love, of worthiness, those are the best responses.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take a little detour right now because it's charity shout out time. And so, as people who listen to the show know, I like to honor the charities of my guests and bring them front and center, because if my guests are really gung ho about them, there's a really, really great reason for it. And I want you to be able to share that with the audience. So, we have, Laurie, you've got the Canadian Celiac Association. And the other side of that is Kimberly's got Gateway University Scholarship Fund. Let's start with the Celiac Association. And Laurie, let's talk about celiac disease, which all three of us are dealing with, apparently. I wonder if that has anything to do with angels, because here we are as healers and we all have these issues.
So I have an interesting story. I had said before that I've been celiac since I was little, but in the late 1960s, no one had heard of it. And I was in the hospital for quite a while, not doing well. And my mother went to the library and started looking up different symptoms. At that time was on something called microfiche.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that she felt this presence around her, and it kind of moved her hand as she was looking through the articles, and she came across an article written in London, and it was about celiac disease. And she took that to the doctor and said, I think this is what my daughter has. So it came through my mom, through the angels. And as a child, it's very much more prevalent now, but I was that kid in school who was different, who couldn't eat anything, who was the one that everybody's like, well, she is weird. She's got this disease, right? And so I really like to support children who are being diagnosed. Adolescents, I like to support them. I deal with a support group with them because that's a very hard age to be, especially in our culture. Everyone's going out for pizza or going to the movies or whatever, and you can't eat. And I was a very sensitive child, and I would take that in that I was weird somehow. So I like to work with the energetics around teenagers and young children who have celiac disease.
And it's celiac disease, for people who don't know it, it really stems from, I don't know if it stems from it, but gluten really will send you hurling into a world of hurt, and you bloat and you this and you that, and it just is painful and very difficult. So I'm going to invite people to, if you know somebody who can't eat gluten, don't make fun of them. Give them compassion, give them love and support, because it's not an easy road to be traveled.
Well, it is an immune disease, and a lot of people just think it's an allergy or a choice, but it sets off this whole immune kind of storm in your body if you're even exposed to any kind of gluten. So I think it's important to especially support the children who are going through it.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat. Birthday parties with cake and ice cream, you can't eat. Well, at least the cake part. But
And most of the ice creams contain gluten as well, right?
isn't that interesting? Where I know I'm going on a little bit of a side bend, but Pete, these manufacturers put things that don't have any business being in the products. Like I don't eat sugar. And I picked up a package of potato chips when I was eating potato chips to look at the ingredients. And these were not kettle chips. They were potato chips. Sugar, 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 sugar to addict you. And I just wish people would stop putting things into food that doesn't belong. That's just my wish. So thank you, Laurie, for that. And the Canadian Celiac Association, www.celiac.ca. It'll be on our blog. It'll be on our information with our guests. So please tune into that. Kimberly, we've got the Gateway University Scholarship Fund. What is Gateway University? Let's talk a little bit about that and the scholarship fund that you offer.
So Gateway University is a school for the study of higher consciousness. It was founded by my beloved godmother and mentor, Reverend Dr. Judith Larkin Reno. And I'm happy to say that I was ordained by Gateway. My master's degree in angelology is from Gateway. My doctorate in spiritual psychology is from Gateway. And the angel ministry is also through Gateway. So it's through Gateway that I'm able to legally ordain our angel ministers when they come through our program. We're getting ready to start our next class of the angel ministry. This is unique because we haven't been able to have a class since 2018 was our last one, with changes in my life and with changes in Gateway and COVID. So we're having our first class in what's this now, 4 or 5 years. So often I receive emails from women. Many of them are single moms. Many of them are suffering from health challenges, like we're just describing. They're living on a very small amount of money, and they really want to come into the angel ministry for self-growth, but also to be able to be a blessing to others. So to learn some new skills, to help them connect more with angels, to bring healing into their own life, their family, their children, their community. And we haven't had the ability to be able to fund them if they can't pay in our program, because it's expensive to run. And so we have this scholarship fund to give very limited scholarships to just a few people to help them on our way. And so any dollar that you give, will match it for dollar to help them through this program.
That's such a beautiful, loving program. Thank you for that. Where is Gateway University located?
We're everywhere. So
Oh,
I'm in the state of Washington, and from a legal perspective, Gateway is a California 501c3 nonprofit organization. So any donation that you make through Gateway is tax deductible. And but we're on internet. So our courses are through Zoom. They're mentored. They're very personal. It's really high touch, very personal experience to help you grow and become more of who you truly are. It's a really beautiful program.
thank you for that. Thank you both. So our time is winding down. I'm going to start with Laurie, and I'm going to ask if there's anything that you would like to share that I haven't brought out in my questions, or that you just want to share in general. And one more thing. I just heard this, and something to when we, to leave with the listeners.
I love to share that no matter where you are in life or no matter what you're dealing with, you are worthy to connect with your spiritual team. It is your birthright. It is something that when you lean into it, it will change your life. You will become more peaceful, more abundant, more loving. I know that when I went through my journey of changing, people would say, like, you're totally different. You're just calm and peaceful now. And that's what connecting with our spiritual team gives us, is that peace and that knowing that no matter what, all is well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. That's beautiful. Kimberly.
Oh, that was really lovely, Laurie. I love that. So I would want our viewers to know that you are loved regardless of what's happened in your life. You are deeply loved. You are loved by spirit. You are loved by divine. You are loving. You are lovable. You are worthy of love. When you open your heart, when you breathe, when you allow it, the angels will show you the way into that deep love that heals.
Thank you. Both of those messages are just so heartwarming and so beautiful, and I'm so grateful for you both to be on the show. This has been such a scintillating conversation. I'm hearing the message that I need to bring each of you back separately, because you've got so much information to share. So I'm going to invite you back separately, because I know that the collective is always powerful, but there's also individualized information. Though it may blend, there's more, because it's the personal perspective. So the invitation is going out to you both. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for your messages and guidance. Thank you for all of this that you have brought to today's show. I feel the love, and it is just so amazing. So thank you. I want to thank Bridget. Oh my goodness. Right hand, left hand. I don't know what I'd do without you. You are my earth angel. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all you do for me. I would thank you, the listening audience, for taking time out of your day, out of your life, to be a part of this show. That though this is an interactive show, when it goes live, you are able to listen to the uploaded version on all your favorite listening platforms. If you like the show, please like it, subscribe to it, so you don't miss any phenomenal conversations like the one we've had today. So I want to take the time to say thank you to you. I want to ask you to check out my website at Marla Goldberg, and Goldberg has 2Rs.com, and see what I do and how I might be able to be of service for you. In addition, I will be back at the Bag Lady in September, so check out thebagladycharlotte.com to find out what my schedule will be, and I look forward to you stopping and visiting me there. And as I leave you, as always, I send you love, blessings, and gratitude. Know how grateful I am that you're in my life in whatever capacity you're in it. Because not only am I your teacher, I am your student. And not only are you my student, you are my teacher. And your life like that with any being path you come across. And if you haven't heard these words today, let me say them to you. I love you. You are loved, not only by me, but as we talked about in the show, you are loved by all the beings on the other side of the veil that you may or may not realize are conspiring on your behalf to help you and ask for what you need. Whether it's support, guidance, help, ask, and they will conspire on your behalf to be there for you. So thank you. Just remember that you are loved, you're not alone, and you do have support. And until next time, stay well. Take care. Bye.